Good evening, everybody. Good evening. Good evening. How are you this afternoon? Well, this afternoon I am alone again. I am just going to do a quick thing because I was scrolling through and I saw something that, you know, I just wanted to remind you of. And good evening also to those on TikTok. But I saw something that I want to remind you of this evening. And for those persons on TikTok, they might not see the video I'm about to show. Good evening, good evening. Thank you for joining me this evening. Um, Persons on TikTok might not see the video I am going to show, but something is bothering me as I was scrolling through and I saw it. So I decided that I am going to share it this evening. Do you remember the Armadale fire? Hi, Menson, good evening. Do you remember the Armadale fire that took the life of 7 teenagers? Anybody remember the Armadale fire? Who remember the Armadale fire that took the life of 7 teenagers? It was way back in May of 2009. And this evening, as I was scrolling through, I needed something to do on my life. And as I was scrolling through, I saw the Armadale fire victims came up. Hi, sweet blessing. Good evening, darling. And I decided, I'm going to talk about this because a lot of persons probably remember them, and I say probably, and their memories are just gone down the drain. Persons just remember the Armadale fire, but who remember the real story of the Armadale fire? So this evening I decided to just go through and do a little quick preview on the Armadale fire. Bear with me, I am sharing. I am sending out to my regular audience who are normally with me in the evenings. My co-host, she is not with me today. My co-host is not with me today. Again, I'm on my own. But nonetheless, God is good. God is good and He is worthy. Let us pray. Father, I thank you for this evening. Thank you for this privilege, Lord, that I can be here sitting and fellowshipping with your people one more time. Lord, I pray that whatever will be said and done on this program will be done according to your glory. Have your own sweet way, Lord. Take over, take charge. And Father, a life lost, mighty God, it is always remembered, especially by their family and friends and those who were affected. Father, I pray that you continue to comfort them, Lord. I pray that they will let their memories be an example to them and also help us to let their memories be an example to us in Jesus' name. Amen. So this evening, like I said, I will be speaking about the Armadale fire. Welcome to those persons on TikTok. And do on TikTok, do any of you remember the Armadale fire of 2009? Anybody remember the Armadale fire in the juvenile correctional center? Nobody no remember the Armadale fire. Uno come vibe with me no. Nobody on Facebook, nobody on YouTube remember the Armadale fire? No man, me can't believe you know. Well, this evening we will be talking about the Armadale fire, as I said before. So here goes. The Armadale fire was a fire that killed 7 juveniles that were in a juvenile state home back in 2009. That is May 22 to be exact. They were in a juvenile home, and apparently they were misbehaving and they were locked away. They were locked away in a little room by themselves. And well, that according to them, it was punishment. Hi, Alvin, how are you? According to them, it was punishment. I have a story where this young lady was talking about her stay at Armadale, so I'm going to let you listen to it. Hey, Steph, cuz, what's up, darling? I am going to let you listen to the story that they're talking about, but that she shared actually, of what she went through when she went to Armadale, of what she saw there. So we are going to go into that story of Armadale. I'm going to put the phone up close so you can hear it. Going to put the phone up close so you can hear it.
The funny thing about going into Armadale is that I actually wanted to go. So I was actually looking forward to it until I actually got there and saw what it was like.
Perched on a hill in Alexandria, St. Anne, the Armadale Juvenile Correctional
Thank you, Sissy. I love you.
Center began housing juveniles in 1991. The facility was originally meant to accommodate some 45 girls, but that number was quickly exceeded. The girls were originally housed in a two-story building, but that was abandoned after a fire in 2006. Two buildings on the property were then converted to house the girls.
The first day I walked into Armadale, I like these girls at the just started screaming out, "B.O.B. she look good, why?" And then I went inside the dormitory and everybody was basically walking naked. Everybody was naked and whining on each other and they were beating music and singing. And I was like, whoa, this is the first time I ever saw this.
After spending just over a week in the juvenile facility, Candine was caught in the Armadale blaze.
Coming up to the night that you could actually feel it was going to happen, something was going to happen. All of a sudden, one of the girls came down from one of the windows, which was the first window. And the girls started to beating out the window with a iron, because there was an iron over the window. No, it was over the cabinet that was inside the dormitory. So they had taken that down and they would start beating it out. The police came and the girls then said, all right, I want to distract them. Somebody said, let's distract them. So while they were throwing water through this window, they were actually at the other window taking down the grill and breaking out the boards. So a police lady and a guy came and the female was talking. Everything went calm for a while because everybody was listening to the lady. Then now the girls started to argue with the guy for some reason. I saw him walk away. I didn't know what after. All of a sudden, my eyes went dark. I can't see anything. I'm like, okay, the lights just went out in my head. Then all of a sudden, I can't breathe. So I was thinking it was my asthma or something. I can't breathe and I'm trying to take in air and no air. So the dam went dead, really, really quiet. So I figured out, my mind said something happened, jump off the decker. So I jumped off the bed and I ran through the window.
By this time, the dorm was on fire and the smoke had already engulfed the small room. The Armadale blaze was claiming its victims.
I couldn't breathe or anything. I was running to the window. I ran back, I fell to the ground, and I realized the ground was really hot. So I jumped up back and I ran back to the window. I gave up, I fell to the ground again. I got up back, I ran to the window. I was like, when you come out one by one. Somehow, most of the girls got through the window. And when I turned around, I saw a fire, so I thought it was on my face.
The screams grew louder and louder. When Candine finally escaped the inferno, she was greeted by chaos on the lawns of Armadale.
So I looked up on the field and I saw everybody was running around. So I ran to the car. When I got to the car, I didn't even see when that car got inside, but it got there. So I ran to it and I went in the back seat and I got on the radio and I was like, come in, Armadale abandoned. Come in, because I saw it on the TV, so I was like using my head. And I was, come in, Armadale abandoned. And then two girls came inside, they were on the front seat and they turned around and they see me and they're like, Jesus Christ, Duppy. And they run out. So I was like really surprised because I know I'm a pretty girl. So I was like, what did them idiot there? So when I looked in the rearview mirror, I saw that something was wrong with my face. My face was really, really black. And I looked at my hands, I saw it was black and white, but I don't know, like my eyes weren't working or something. Then I take a good glimpse. I saw that the skin was hanging down and the flesh was like there. So then I went crazy. I was like, Jesus, make it burn. So when I looked at the field, I see everybody running. So I jumped out of the vehicle and I started running around as well. I see the man by the pipe. I went under the pipe as well. I wet up my hands and wet up my feet and my face. So then it started to like really, really burn now.
Surviving the Armadale fire was only the beginning of another type of struggle for those who were seriously injured.
The family started coming in and they started crying. You know, if I can't see because my eyes were closed, they couldn't see my eyes. I didn't have a nose. It could, my mouth, they could barely hear me speak because my mouth was swollen. They couldn't see my lips. I didn't have any hair on my head. So I lost all my hair. My eyes were killing me. I could barely see. I had to lift my head like that and I didn't have any nose. So everybody was like, Jesus, is you going to stay for the rest of your life? And they were crying and it was depressing having them. So I had to like ban some of my visits. I had to like tell the wardresses like, I don't want to see this person. I don't want to see my grandma. Because it was depressing because everybody was coming and crying.
The scars from Armadale aren't only physical. The nightmares continue.
When I was at the hospital, Armadale happened every single night in my head. Every night. It's not like maybe you won't understand what I'm saying, but I'm trying to tell you that it happened every night. Every time I close my eyes, I can see it. I can see, even when they told me that the girls had died, I could see them actually die inside. I was them and I was dying in there. I could feel it. And today it's the same. Because every time I smell smoke, I don't cook. Because I'm afraid of it. I don't cook. And every time like I smell somebody like smoking near to me or something, I feel like I'm inside the building, so I get really agitated and get angry. The heat, when the sun is too hot, the smoke. If I'm someplace, my eyes is closed and somebody screams, I like jump up and run because it's like it's happening in my head. Especially the screaming because you like hearing the girls screaming all the time.
She admits that the physical scars are easier to deal with than the mental ones.
I can look at the scars on my hands and I can say, you know what, I'm not gonna let you define me. If people don't want to get to know me because of my scar, well, let them stay where they are. They don't have to know me. I'm glad for the people that are around me, even though I have these scars. But the mental scars, no, I don't know what to do about them. I am afraid of heat. I don't know what to do about that.
She points out that despite the fact that there was some psychological intervention for survivors immediately after the fire, it didn't go far enough. And now, no one remembers them.
When Armadale was hot, let me say, when everybody was like, Armadale, Armadale, well, we got psychological intervention, but after a while and everything died down, it just ended like that.
But Candian is working hard to ensure that the survivors of the Armadale blaze aren't forgotten. In addition to filing a lawsuit against the government to get compensation, she's also fighting to launch an Armadale survivors group.
I am a survivor. I think it comes with surviving, taking on the attitude, and I think I have a responsibility. Before the fire, let me tell you, I thought I didn't have a purpose. I was just living, really. I was just living and just say, yeah, I'm living today, maybe tomorrow I die or whatever, but I just feel like I have a purpose right now.
Wow, just wow. I am lost for words on this one. And I'm going to say this: these persons are long forgotten. These juveniles, they are long forgotten. And this evening I was just scrolling through because I didn't plan anything for my program this evening. Actually, this is your program, Powerful Voices, and I am your host, Anika Salmon Crossley. My co-host, Anissa, she's not with me this evening. She have other engagements. But I didn't plan anything this evening. I wasn't even planning on going live this evening. And while I was scrolling through, I was like, oh well, I have persons that are looking forward to the live in the evenings. So I just decided that, you know what? Let me scroll through, and I was scrolling through and I saw the Armadale fire victims, and I said, whoa, I can do this one. Um Let us, persons might look at it and say, because I am sure there are negative persons out there, and because sometimes when some bad things happen to people, you always have some negative person to say something negative, and the persons might look at it and said, oh, because them bad, that's why them end up at Armadale and all these things. No, you have persons at Armadale that just get caught up in the wrong crowd. You have persons who just get caught in the wrong crowd, and because of that, they are, um let me say, what's the word I'm looking for, they are said to be bad. Oh, the Armadale student children, they were bad, that's why they end up in juvenile delinquency home. And there is another story that this girl, she is saying, when she went, I was listening to it this evening, that's why I came on this late. She was actually saying that when she went there, Armadale was beautiful and all the things, but when she went inside was another story. And she was talking about how they were treated by the staff there at Armadale. And a lot of the times we wonder why our children are so disrespectful. And it is how we, as parents and as adults, speak with our children. If you shout at my children, they will stand there and look at you. If you shout at my children, they will just stand there and look at you. I am the only one who ever shout at my children, and that's not very often. As parents, we must can come to a civilized understanding where we come out of this haggish mentality where we shout and curse our children. As parents, I think it is time we step away from that. No, I am not one of the mothers who said you must not eat your child. Because at the end of the day, especially your boys, my two boys are so tall, I am scared. I have to pray for them daily. All right. My two boys are so tall. My 12-year-old is taller than his brother that will be 15 in a few weeks. And they are taller than their father. So I am scared, especially when both of them go out together, especially when it comes to evening. I am so scared. I am afraid, and especially these days, boys love to wear pullover, and I do not, because they are so tall. I am afraid. I just pray for them daily. And as I'm saying, as parents, we might, I'm not saying that our children doesn't do wrong stuff, because we might do the best for them, raise them the best, give them the best, grow them the best, do the best, and they end up falling in the wrong crowd. Aaron, good evening. Thanks, and same to you. They might end up in the wrong crowd. regardless of what we do and how we do it, they may end up with the wrong crowd. And I hear persons saying, oh, when your child does something, they're saying, charge the parents, poor parents. Some of us, we don't even know some things that our children are doing. My daughter was at school and I could have swear say she go class because she have all her notes and everything. And it's only when a situation arises, then when, hey Princeton darling, evening. Only when a situation arises, then I was told that, oh, did you know that your daughter is not going to class if she's sitting underneath the tree? Poor me, never know that. She have all her notes. When I check, she have everything ready. Everything. You go by the school, them have the best to say. And when things happen, that's when everybody started to speak out. No, let us look at it this way. The Armadale children, they are no different from any other children. It's just that they were caught up probably at the wrong place at the wrong time, caught with the wrong crowd. Hence, they end up in a juvenile facility. But them being in a juvenile facility does not give anyone the right to treat them any less than human because they are human. And it doesn't matter what your child or your children does as a mother, especially as a mother, as a father, as parents, you still love that child regardless of what your child does. You still love your child. And for a mother to lose her child because she is trying, or a father to lose his child because he is trying to make sure that she gets on the right path, to make sure that she gets disciplined. And the next phone call you get is, oh, there was a fire at the juvenile facility that your daughter was, and she was killed or she was badly burned. Now, bear this that five of those girls died on the spot. They were found dead after the fire was extinguished. Five of them. And two died later on in the hospital. Five of them died right there. What caused the fire? They were placed in a little room as punishment, right? And because they were placed in that little room as punishment, whatever happened, the policeman fired some explosive thing in the room that, with all the mattress and clothes or whatever material or flammable materials were in there, everything caught on fire. Then no, they are saying that they could not find the key. In the panic, they could not find the key to open the door to let them out. Is it that they could not find the key? I'm just asking. Is it that they could not find the key or they just did not care? Is it that they could not find the key or is it that they themselves were afraid to go in there? I'm just asking. I'm asking on behalf of the families that lost their children. I am asking on behalf of the family that lost their children. Seven babies. Because they are babies. Seven babies killed 15 years ago. And this afternoon, I want us to remember the victims of the Armadale fire. Blessing said they are afraid. Okay, Blessing. So they were afraid to go in there and open the place. It is possible that if somebody had gone in there and opened with the stampede and the rush I mean, even this survivor that came out and she spoke, she was badly burned. She lost all her hair and her skin. And she said it is not the physical scars that affects her. She said even when she was in the hospital, she kept hearing the voices of those crying, crying, crying. Ah, imagine. She said she doesn't cook because she is afraid of the fire. It is natural. That's a normal reaction to somebody who went through a traumatic experience with fire. She said even if somebody is smoking beside her, it affects her. It is a natural um natural reaction to somebody who went through what she did. The mental scars, she said, it is the biggest problem. And what hurts the most was when her family members were coming in. When her family members were coming in and they were creating all sorts of excitement on her. That's what hurts. She said when she run in the vehicle, she was just pressing on the radio, Armadale and fire, Armadale and fire. Then two girls running on the state. Imagine the state that she was in, that when they saw her, them cry out for Duppy. That is how bad she was, how badly burned she was. As a police officer, I am sure because I went to school and I did a course in fire, right? I did a course in fire where to escape fire, to assist fire victims and all this. Yes, Anissa, it is very sad. I went through that course and I can tell you as a police officer, or let me make sure because I made sure I got my notes, and it says a policeman that he was charged in connection to the Armadale tragedy. A policeman, you must have known that you cannot fire an explosive in a particular area for reasons being that flammable materials are in there. The mattress is easily caught ablaze, clothes, and those girls did not understand. So while they were screaming and shouting amidst everybody running up and down, can you imagine the feeling, the pain, the suffocation that they went through? Can you imagine what they went through that day, that fateful day, May 22, 2009, 15 years ago? Can you imagine what they went through? How they must have felt. Oh, I'm going to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. I don't want to die. The panic that's setting on their faces just because one police officer saw it fit to fire an explosive in a little room that the girls were placed into as punishment. So, was that a part of the punishment to kill them? I'm just asking. Was that a part of the punishment? Is it that they are troublemakers and you just decide to get rid of them? I am confused. I am just asking. But this evening, as we are remembering the Armadale fire victims, I want you to, I know this is something that their families never got over. And even though their families were trying to get them the necessary help that is needed while they were placed in that facility, their parents must have been regretting it and said, I am sorry I sent my child there. My child would have still been alive. The regret, the hurt, and the pain that the parents must have gone through. I know the Armadale, it happened way back in 2009 in St. Anne here in Jamaica. Um, it was a tragedy where 7 girls lost their lives. 7 girls lost their lives um, in a fire. They were placed in a room. According to report says they were placed in a small room, 12 feet by 12 feet as punishment. And while in that room, reportedly a police officer threw an explosive item in the room, allegedly contributing to the cause of the fire. And I can imagine them saying, oh, the girls were the ones who set the place ablaze. I can imagine them saying that. But this evening, I want to remind us that with this song, that it shouldn't have to hurt to be a child by Callie Kathleen. It shouldn't have to hurt to be a child. Shouldn't have to hurt to be a child.
I know you're there. I know you're hiding in the dark because you're scared. You want the pain to stop, and no one cares. You try to tell the one you love, but they won't believe. The cross you bear, the mask you wear, the hurt that makes you cry yourself to sleep. Wait, will someone say it shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. Please hear my word. It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. You can run to me, I'll put my arms around you. It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. We hear your prayers, we know you're crying in the dark, but someone cares. We want the pain to stop, please don't be scared. Find the strength to find someone, I promise you, someone will believe. The cross you bear, the mask you wear, the hurt that makes you cry yourself to sleep. Somebody will see. It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. Please hear my word. It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. You can run to me, I'll put my arms around you. It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. My darling child, will put our arms around you. We'll keep you safe, your wounds will heal, your pain will fade. A beautiful tomorrow is at your feet. You have to find the strength. It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. You can run to me, I'll put my arms around you. It shouldn't hurt, it shouldn't hurt to be a child. To be a child.
It should never hurt to be a child. A child is a child. They must be loved. They must be nurtured. They must be protected. Regardless of what a child might have done, it should never hurt to be a child. And this evening, I've never taken the time to go through the Armadale story. But this evening, when I was going through, and I was looking at, and just imagine how the parents must have felt the hurt, the pain. Even today, I am sure that these parents are having regrets. These parents are sorry that they allowed their children or their child to go to that place. The blame, they must have been blaming themselves for this 15 years because they were trying to protect their children. They were trying to get them on a safe path. They wanted the change. They wanted to see their children rise up and be great. But instead, their lives were taken for madness. It shouldn't hurt. It should never hurt to be a child.
You are smart enough.
You are brave enough.
You are strong enough.
You are smart enough.
You are brave enough.
You are brave enough.
You are brave enough.
You are brave enough. Take a stance against child abuse.
Break the silence.
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 Break the silence. Break the silence. Break the silence. Please call and report all cases of child abuse.
To the Office of the Children's Registry.
Call 1-888.
Protect. Protect. All calls are confidential.
To the Office of the 888.
Protect. All calls are confidential.
To the Office.
Good evening, Davin. Good evening. How are you? Good evening to those on TikTok and those who are just passing through the scrolling. Good evening. Good evening. We are talking about the Armadale story. Anyone remember anything about the Armadale story? Just type it in because I'm also on Facebook and YouTube presently while I'm on TikTok. So if anyone remember the Armadale story and can just tap in something, please. I played that clip to say this. Somebody at that home must have felt bad about how the girls were being treated. Because, like I said earlier, one of the interviews that I watched this afternoon was where the young lady was talking about how they treated them at that facility. And she was even describing the food. She was describing the food at the facility. And she said the first time she went there, she was given porridge. She said it was cold. She didn't drink it. She said she did not eat for a week. That's what she said. She said she didn't eat for an entire week because of the food. She said they gave her a dress and it smelled really bad because it was dirty. And I want to say this to our children today, both boys and girls. When you misbehave and you go into a facility or into a boys or girls home, you don't know what you are going to face in that home. Hi Merlene, good evening. How are you? You never know what you are going to face in that home. So why not just be good? Walk on the straight and narrow. If these girls had walked on the straight and narrow, they would have still been here. This young lady that I played her interview, she said she did not know that she have a purpose before, but now she knows that she have a purpose. And I keep saying in the evening that your story is for God's glory. Regardless of what you go through, remember your story is for God's glory. It doesn't matter what your story is. It is for God's glory. God allowed you to go through that particular thing so that you can come out and talk to somebody and encourage somebody. God allowed you to go through that because He knows that this day, somebody would need to come out and speak. Your story is for God's glory. Whatever it is that you went through, this young woman, she was in the fire, she was burned. She said, even her hair, she lost all her hair. And now she's using her story to help people. She survived the fire. 7 girls did not survive the fire. 7 girls died. They did not survive. 5 died in that room that day from the fire. And 2 died later on at the hospital in the days to follow. As according to the news, it says in the days to follow. I pray that their memories will live on and that something like this will not happen again. I pray that something like this will never happen again, whether in Jamaica or anywhere. This must wake up. This must wake up the authorities because the girls are speaking out about how badly they were treated. And I do hope that whoever was there with those girls are charged. I pray that let me not say are because it was in the past. I pray that they were charged for how they treated them. It is abuse. Whether they are, and let me tell you this, a child will respond to you the way you talk to them. A child will respond to you the way you talk to them. You cannot expect to get respect when you do not give respect. As adults, we think that we are not supposed to respect children because we are big and we are bold and we are bad and we are brave. No. I remember a man once, my kids were coming from school and they were coming from school. And the man was in his water boat feeding out his goats and rain drew. So they took a little shortcut to come home. And believe me as I say this, the man stand in the walkway that they were supposed to pass. Well, let me apologize for that. The current went out. The current went out, knocking me off everything. Just so I'm asking to give me a few to get my things back up. And yes, guys, I am back. I must apologize again. The current went out, so everything went offline, and I had to go back and reset everything. So I apologize for that. Okay. So good evening again. I am Anika Saman Crossley, and I am the host and founder of Powerful Voices. We are on live here every evening on Facebook and YouTube at Anika Samon Crossley, and also on Facebook at Anissa Figaro, which is my beautiful co-host. Alrighty. So, um, also on a Saturday, we are in studio on a Saturday from 12 midday to 2 p.m. All right, so we were remembering the Armadale fire victims. Thank you for the follow. And I was asking if anyone remember the Armadale fire victim. Um, to just send in something, no? Remind anything that you remember from the Armadale incident. Anything that you remember from the Armadale incident that took place May 22, 2009, you can feel free to send it in and I'll read it for you. All right. So I played a video earlier with a young lady that she spoke about what she went through in the fire. So I want to this I was scrolling through and I was trying to find out if there was a song that is connected to it, and I just came upon this little thing that I think it is interesting. So here goes. I hope you can see.
I had a dream, and in that dream they were smiling through the fire saying, let me burn. I had a dream, and in that dream they were smiling through the fire saying, let me burn. A candle burns in every soul. Some burn like wildfire, uncontrollable. There is no need to insinuate. They were left to incinerate, thrown into the state. The state, Lord, what a state. 1 room, 23 girls, 14 mattress, 7 bunkers. 1 room, 23 girls, 14 mattress, 7 bunkers. But wait, how run this place? Drunkards? If you lived in a detention where every night is tension just to find somewhere for rest your head pan, man, it's like you're a time bomb, waiting, time bomb, waiting, 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 waiting to explode. Space run out. Face the hard facts. Hit the concrete with a cardboard box. Shh, not another sound. Shh, not another sound. Or else the whole out no go up on lockdown. No fresh air, no daylight. Nyam with your hand. Yeah man. And there's no room to be discreet. There's a bucket in the corner for excrete. Picture it. Imagine it. The stench, the heat, pungent odor. To the government, manager, supervisor, if you had a sister, a daughter with bad behavior, would you put them to live? Were they living? Proper meals were they getting? Well, at least they had proper psychological hiccups. I mean, psychological checkups because they were rehabilitating. Right? You're right. Now the system backfire. Tell me, who them fire? Officer lurking, children singing, expletives. Hey, good for nothing, bad broke pitney. Wanna stop an eyes now? Hey, wanna go the bucket there? Wanna put on the bucket now? Me sound for put on the shaving cream straight pan the officer, pure shaving cream straight pan the officer. So him leave, him come back. Officer, tear gas. Officer, tear gas. 1 room, 23 girls, 14 mattress, 7 bunkers. Officer, tear gas. 23 girls. Fire. Jesus Christ, fire. Fire! It's like hell! Engulfing the matches box where the children dwell. Hell! The hostile fire draws closer and closer and closer. Inferno, it's like a furnace. Trapped, helpless, screams. Charred dreams. The future cremated, dated May 22nd, 2009, searing away the flesh of my mind. 7 lives, 7 stories, 7 girls, burned, burned, burned. Burn, not the fire, the girls them burn, not the fire, the picnic them burn, not the fire, upon up in the Armadale fire, the girls them burn, not the fire, the picnic them burn, not the fire, the girls them burn, not the fire, burn up in the Armadale. But I had a dream, and in that dream they were smiling through the fire saying, let me burn. Like the phoenix I will rise from the ashes. Let me burn. No more will I be misunderstood. It's now and only now will I live as all humans should. Let me burn, because fire produces light. Watch the hearts of my people ignite. I found a place where I can truly live, where I can truly smile. Fiery voices of Armadale are shouting, catch the fire, take it to the hills, start a campfire. Follow the Rastaman on bonfire. If a rural start a grassroots fire, this is a call, fire call to rescue our children. If they are still the future, let's develop a burning desire to protect them. One room, 23 girls, 14 mattress, 7 bunkers, 1 tear gas.
Wow. Just wow. He said, one room, 23 girls, 14 mattress, 7 bunkers. How can a 12 by 12 room house 23 girls? So there were 14 bunk beds with a mattress on each bunk. So you know that that's 14 mattresses. 23 girls. Imagine how they, you know how small a bunk bed is. Imagine all of them bundling up. Thank you, Suzette, my cousin, for passing through. Thank you, Rose Ham. How are you, darling? And Chelsea, thank you for passing through, Chelsea Jones. One room, 23 girls, 14 mattresses, and 7 bunkers. The lives of 7 girls were just, they don't just snuffed out. Officer was mad, I guess, because they threw urine or feces or whatever it is. But look at it this way. They were not given any proper facility to use. If you give them a bucket and tell them to use the corner there because you're on punishment, so you're not allowed to go outside. You are not allowed to leave this room. 7 babies between the age 15, 16 were killed in that fire because Officer Dibbles, let me call him Officer Dibbles, chose to throw a tear gas in the room. Mm, wow. Just wow. Tear gas can be flammable depending on what it lands on. A tear gas is something that burns the eye. So you're saying that they were all in a 12 by 12 room and you chose to throw tear gas in that room with those babies in there, despite what they did. I bet if one person at the facility treated them like they were human, or let me say, like the human beings that they are or they were, things would have not been like that. If one person, hi Nardine, how are you? If one person in that facility at Armadale treated the girls like they mattered, despite of what they did, if one person treated them like they mattered, treated them like they are loved, it would have been different. I guarantee it would have been different. This evening, I can tell you though that I am going to follow up on this story and I'll be back with it another evening. I'm going to follow up on this Armadale story with my co-host and see what else we can find out. But to the Armadale victim, this goes out to their family. Their families, actually.
Miss your voice, miss your smile, everything about you worth the while. Always wondering where you are. I hope you're with us, near or far.
Let me say this. Regardless of what they did or what they might have done that caused them to end up in that facility, they did not deserve to die. Regardless of what they did or what they might have done or what was said that they did not deserve to die. They are somebody's children. And a mother, a father, a sister, a brother, a grandmother, a grandfather, a aunt, a uncle, a cousin, a friend is left mourning the death of 7 beautiful girls. Despite what they might have done, they deserved to live. They did not deserve to die.
Many questions unanswered. I guess we'll never know. But now you belong to heaven. It's empty without your smile. The truth brings us to tears. All the love you gave us all these years. Always seeing you at night when I turn off the light and the world's asleep. In my heart you'll always stay. We'll never forget you. You'll never fade away. I'll always remember the times we shared together. Remember your laughter forever and ever. But now you belong to heaven. It's empty without
this evening, again, I am Anika Salmon Crossley, and I am your host this evening for the program Powerful Voices. And this evening, I am using my powerful voice to remember the victims of the Armadale fire that took place on the 22nd of May 2009, exactly 15 years ago. Those young ladies perished in a fire. And I keep imagining the pain, the screams, the hurt. And those victims, those persons who survived, I keep wondering they must be having nightmares still. The sound of the screams in their head. I'm saying, oh my gosh, the sound of the screams that goes off in their head. I can imagine the young lady that I played her interview. She said if somebody screams, she start run.